There's so much human touch on this planet, and there's not that much here, and that makes it a really special place.
It has lots of different, very unique communities that all have their own flavor, and all of that's melded together in this great big expanse.
You don't have to know anybody to get a wave here or to get a good morning. The people make this San Luis Valley a friendly place.
I've never been in a community that cares so much about its own.
And that makes us have this passion and this commitment that I don't think you see many other places.
We have to work together to get something done.
People's willingness to step out and say, what can I do to help?
Economic development is a challenge. This is a big challenge for everybody.
When I came to Creede, it was a year-round economy. When the mine shut down several months later, we just became a tourist town. It's compromised the economic stability of Creede, and I think of the whole western side of the valley. We have a beautiful place to live, we have the theater, we have a lot of cultural resources, and of course recreation is boundless. And I think we're missing the boat by not trying to go after that one job at a time that can bring a 365 economy into the area.
Economic stability currently is when our agricultural community does well. But when the agricultural community doesn't do well, then all of our other businesses and residents suffer. We're trying to diversify, and Rio Grande County would benefit if we can go into more of the non-motorized and motorized type recreation that is kind of the in thing today. When we do transition into the foothills and the mountainous area, that's the playground that those types of people want.
Conales County is the second poorest county in the whole state of Colorado. Not everybody is a rancher and a farmer. It might look like that on the surface. There's very few jobs other than community jobs like working maintenance, law enforcement, town clerks. So I would say at least 70% of the people that live in the county are employed here in the Alamos area.
We are at the low end of the economy in the state of Colorado, and so we definitely want to do all we can to raise that standard. What's currently starting to develop is heritage tourism and all kinds of other agricultural entities that we had in the community that were part of our staple economy 50 years ago. Those are things that are starting to get people excited again, being able to develop these assets that will redevelop our economy.
We grow for more than just this community. We grow for a large number of people that don't have access to agricultural products. I really believe that economic development is a key to solving a lot of issues that are connected to poverty. And spending our dollars here is an essential piece to me to economic viability in the San Luis Valley.
We should never get to a point where we think that it's okay that one person dies of a drug overdose or from suicide because of something that could be preventable. And there's 7 counties that are served with essentially one main mental health center.
Within our family, it's difficult to find ways to help them receive appropriate treatment. When my husband needed services, he had to wait more than a month for any kind of an appointment. More often than not, he just was speaking Skype to a psychiatrist who was hundreds of miles away, so there was no relationship that could be developed.
We don't want to assume that one organization or agency could provide all of those for anyone. And so we know that we need to expand the services that are available, and we know people aren't getting the services that they need.
Some people require something more than what the Valley has to offer. It can be very expensive, it can be very lengthy. We refer people to the Front Range or to Pueblo, Colorado Springs, but it's so disruptive in their life because they're leaving their families and their jobs.
Trying to even get the within your own county transportation to your mental health services can be a challenge.
It would be wonderful if we could have our own mental health person who would come a day or two a week to be able to work with people.
I'm encouraged to see that the community has really stepped up and taken notice of what's going on. We're starting to educate children more and families also about the dangers of this.
We want to let them know that this is just like any other part of healthcare. And we want them to know that this is a safe community to do that in.
In our community, we do have a core of leaders and people who work night and day to provide opportunities for our youth. And it's those people that really provide the hope.
Working at the Center for Restorative Programs, we work a lot with youth who have been ostracized from their community, whether that's a school community or the community at large or their family. And so I think a lot of times one of the big challenges that we have is youth being pushed aside, made to feel as if they're not an important part of the fabric of our community here.
Providing leadership and direction and helping families provide those is huge to what our youth need in this area.
We have started the Move Mountains Youth Project. We are a group of adults and teachers in the community that work with middle and high school students. Our main goal is to teach these kids leadership skills. Kids are doing much better academically. Discipline issues are down with the kids that are involved.
We've got community involvement. They adopted a highway. We built a solar grow dome, so they're learning how to grow food, learning where their food comes from, and selling that, and learning enterprise.
They grow up with a different connection to the world around them than students and youth in urban areas. There's so much richness in their culture and traditions, and helping them tap into that, I think, is what's going to really spark them into the future.
Many of us in the nonprofit sector and also in the business community are really working to do is to provide experiences and resources and knowledge for folks who maybe can't travel, who can't get out of the community, but they can still experience the richness of life here in Colorado.
I know for our organization and each of the other youth organizations in the Valley, most things come back to financial resources, and it's hard to find enough wealth to spread around to cover all of the things that each community needs.
A lot of the kids, other than if their parents are working in Alamosa, can't get to the club. 7 out of 10 of our parents are single parents. Many of them are making minimum wage, and if they didn't have the club, I don't know what they'd do.
With the proper technology, with the proper funding, with the proper attention given to this community, we can espouse all of that untapped potential that's in our kids if there are people that are guiding them and providing those opportunities for them.
I think it's really important that we create a different bottom line that's about the health of the people, the community, the planet. This place is kind of a laboratory for doing that.
Energy, pride,
Support.
Wholesome.
Collaborative.
That's where I put my roots down.
I love it. It's a beautiful place.